Hello, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to Fun Speculation. Mav here, impromptu. What is it? Wednesday? I might get my days all mixed up here. There's been a lot of storms lately, and work's kind of busy because of that. Because that's kind of a weird job where that matters. But yeah, this we got some news today, and I was kind of sitting here playing games and stuff, and watching YouTube, and I was like, you know what? Let's just go live and talk about the state of play. We're gonna have a show tomorrow, PM in the PM, where Pong Soul's idea. He was like, hey, let's just go live early and co-stream the PlayStation State of Play and roll it into PM in the PM. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. We're just gonna co-stream the State of Play. We'll probably go live like 4:45 Eastern time or so. Or wait, no, sorry, 5:45 Eastern time, and then roll right into the State of Play. And then after that, we'll have our like regular PM in the PM. So it's going to be interesting. I really want to know what they're going to show at this State of Play. It's not a full-blown showcase. It's a 30-minute thing, kind of. So, and they said PlayStation games coming later this year. So what does that mean? What is it? What do they got for us? We're going to find all this out. But shout out to Rainbolt, who just showed up and it's like, hey, let's join the speculator train, and became a member before we were even live. So thank you so much, Rainbolt. Appreciate you and everybody else for being here. Prince Green, shout out to you. Black Knight, what's going on? Fark you, how's it going? Brandon Martin. Yeah, all you guys rock. Choo-choo motherfuckers. Let's have some fun tonight and just talk about this possibilities. Also, there was other things like the PlayStation strategy. They talked about their strategy, and they're getting like slandered left and right because of this, because it makes no fucking sense. And I'll tell you this also. Don't trust anything they say with any of this stuff. Like, anybody who's taking, especially PlayStation's words for like their vision, and this goes for every company, right? But especially PlayStation, when they're gearing up to potentially announce the PS5 Pro, they're trying to sell people on the merits of owning it right now ahead of time. They're kind of trying to plant these seeds. But y'all remember We Believe in Generations and all that kind of stuff? They're doing the same thing to give people a reason to move over to PS5 at the beginning of the generation. That didn't matter for shit for years, right? They did the exact same thing Xbox did. In fact, actually probably above and beyond what Xbox did as far as cross-generational titles. And they were using that as a marketing beat to make Xbox seem worse than, because, oh, they were supporting last gen, right? So now you see this PlayStation strategy where they're talking about this crazy nonsense. Their tentpole titles, their single-player narrative experiences, the things that have been synonymous with Sony's history. Well, you can go back to the PS4 era kind of for that, but before that, PlayStation had a lot of variety in their games. In fact, actually in the PS3 era, there was a lot of multiplayer games. There was a lot of variety. In fact, actually the PS4 era is when they really went heavily focused into PS3, going into PS4, heavily focused on this one style of game. And now that's what they're dictating is their history, right? They mentioned that those tentpole kind of story-based narrative experiences that have always made PlayStation what PlayStation is. Bullshit, first off. Those will still be first on console. Well, okay, fine. And then the games of service will be day and date on console and PC. And what their hope is that PC players fall in love with these franchises and decide that they want to go buy a PlayStation to play the sequels. Whew, that is some strategy. First off, number one, I think it's bullshit. I think overall, eventually, everything's going to be day and date because they're going to see the sales on PC for their games of service titles. I think overall that they're going to keep selling less PlayStations than they have in the past, and that's going to continue to enforce their decisions. But right now, they have hardware coming out relatively soon at some point, or at least all the rumors are. And they're trying to start selling the merits of owning a PlayStation again, a console, and investing in this new hardware. And I was hoping maybe we would get a big showcase at some point soon where we would have really the hopes and dreams of what to look forward to from first party of these big time PlayStation games. And instead, we're getting a state of play. We're getting another state of play. 30-minute thing. I'm not saying it's going to be bad, but they said it focuses on VR and PlayStation games coming out later this year, like 14 plus games or something like that. I'm actually going to go to Twitter and read what they said. Shout out to Nikita Percy. How's it going? HNS 1998. What's up? Brett Bingham. How's it going, dude? Free Bear. How are you? Everybody here hanging out. Appreciate you all. Emphasis on VR. Yeah. Does that excite you guys? Or maybe it excites the 1 million, maybe? I have no idea how many people own a PSVR 2. But that's a very small audience there. That is probably going to take up a decent portion of this show, of this state of play, for people that the majority don't give a shit. Yeah, I don't, right? But like for those that do, cool. I'm sure there's some people that'll enjoy that section. For me, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I see Mr. Waffle, shout out to you in the chat, says, are we going to stream it? Yeah, so kind of coincided timing-wise with PM and the PM. It's an hour before our regular start time. Pong hit me up and said, hey, if you want to co-stream it, I think I can get home in time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, I set the time to go live about 15 minutes before the state of play. So we'll go live about 15 minutes before the state of play. We'll co-stream the state of play, and then we'll just carry over into a regular version of PM and the PM. In fact, the event is already set up on YouTube. It says 6 o'clock on there, but we'll probably go live around like 5:45. So that's what the plan is. Crossing my fingers, everything works out. OCD Gamer, what's up, dude? How's it going? Tamales. I love tamales. I love tamales. Yeah, so we'll see what they actually show. I'm going to go to this actual announcement. There we go. Let's see. Actually, in our DM group, nobody cared to even share the actual announcement because it's the state of play. Okay, here we go. State of play. It says, tune in for updates on 14 PS5 and PSVR 2 titles, including a look at PlayStation Studios titles arriving later this year. So what are the PlayStation Studios titles arriving later this year? That's what I really want to know. And is there new games they're going to announce that are actually slated for later this year? Or are they more second, third-party deals that they made to fulfill their pipeline, taking over publishing rights of some titles? I have no idea, man. But it's going to be interesting to find out. It's going to be really interesting to find out what they have. Because right now, like, I'm trying to rack my brain. Does anybody have any idea of what PlayStation Studios games are announced right now for the second half of this year? I know there was originally supposed to be Concord, but that last week I thought they talked about that was pushed to 2025, unless that was not an accurate report. I don't know who said that, but everybody was running around with that. Brandon Martin says Until Dawn remake. Oh, come on, please. Or is that really, like, does that game even need to be remade? Really? Did anybody ask for Until Dawn remake? Is Concord going to actually hit this year? If Concord hits this year, cool. I'm excited to see what it is finally. I want to know, like, what this game's going to be like. I want more multiplayer experiences for PlayStation. But, like, there's not, like, necessarily one thing that I'm like, oh, yeah, it's going to be amazing. What about the Final Shape? Was that this year, or did it get pushed to 2025 also for Destiny 2? second half of this year or summer of this year, maybe, or something. Yeah, June. Yeah, that's June this year. So that's coming. So we'll see the final shape. That's PlayStation. Even though it's going to be everywhere, it's still PlayStation owned IP, right? So we're going to see the final shape. Hopefully they get the excitement from the Destiny community back. Until Dawn remake, I'm sure there's going to be some that are excited. Personally, I think you could probably play the original and be like, oh yeah, that still looks good today. I mean, the kind of game that it is. But if they do that, it's fine. I think that was already announced. I remember actually seeing that, and I was like pretty fucking surprised. Dave D says, bring back SOCOM and I'll get a PS5. Right on. What if they release SOCOM on PC, and then would you get a PS5 then to play the sequel? That's what their strategy is going forward with their single-player games. Anyway, Mike H says, do I have a PS5? I bet you wouldn't if PlayStation went day and date on PC. I do have a PS5. And I very rarely play it. But I've really only played a lot this generation, Gran Turismo 7. Because I'm a Gran Turismo fan. I like sim racers. I like Forza, and I like Gran Turismo. I like them both. And it's weird though, because, you know, when we talk about exclusives, as much as I like don't care about exclusivity really in general, I'll tell you, to be honest with you, the main reason I own a PS5 today is just because of GT7. If they actually put GT7 on PC, I probably wouldn't feel the necessity to even own a PS5 right now. There's games that I want to play on PlayStation, but I feel like I can wait for all of them. I don't really have a lot of excitement for a lot of the games that they've come out with this generation, but that's just a personal taste thing. I'm not saying they're bad. Like, I played some of Horizon Forbidden West. I've played some of Returnal. I've played some of I played most of Miles Morales. I didn't finish it. I did like the first Spider-Man, but I thought Miles Morales just felt like DLC kind of. So I stopped playing it. I just kind of got bored with it. Spider-Man 2 I haven't touched yet. I didn't want to pay the money for it because it seemed pretty samey to the other ones, and I didn't see anything that it really super excited me for it, to be honest with you. But I did like the first game, so my idea was always that when Spider-Man 2 ever gets cheap, or if it ever enters PlayStation Plus or something like that, I would play it at that point. Because I don't really get FOMO for single player narrative based games. Usually I can wait for those. I get FOMO more for multiplayer stuff and games that I've really been looking forward to for a really long time, you know? So, those one of the cool thing about Xbox is you don't even have to decide. Like when they have their first party stuff drop, it's like, it's just there. And you can play it if you want, or you can ignore it if you want. And for me, I'm like, I'm going to try those games for sure. Like Hellblade 2, I was excited for. But I just haven't really been excited for any of the big PlayStation first-party games for some reason. And I've been wanting them to change, right? So I knocked them last showcase they had the last summer because I thought their showcase was shitty. I thought all they had was like vague trailers for games of service games that nobody really cared about. Even though those are the kind of games I want them to start getting into a little bit, I don't have any confidence in some of them because they haven't really shown anything. And what they did show for the like fair games, there wasn't any like differentiator about like other stuff in the industry that other multi-platform developers are making. So Concord, I'm excited to see if they show it. Like I want to know what it is, if it's gonna give me a reason to play. But it's going to be on PC also, so do I care to necessarily even play that on PlayStation? I mean, I play Helldivers 2 on PC. I don't play it on PlayStation. What I really want them to do, what would actually give me another reason to own a PlayStation, is if they actually had cross-buy somehow, but they don't have a PlayStation Store. But if I know that if I buy the game on PC, I can also end up having it on on my console when I decide if I want to go play on a TV. But when you're forcing me to make the decision, I'm going to make the decision of whatever I'm wanting to make at the time. And if I'm buying most of those games on PC, then I'm going to be playing mostly on PC. If I had cross-buy, then I have a reason to still play on PlayStation more because I'm not having to double dip. So anyway, that's why I like the PC and Xbox and all that stuff. Like I play, sometimes I'll play Forza on the console, sometimes I'll play Forza on the PC. Halo the same way, Starfield the same way, Hellblade I switched back and forth a little bit. Like I love that shit, and it gives me a reason, to hop back and forth. But PlayStation kind of forcing you to make that decision, right? And that's what they want. And you know what? To their credit, I guess that's why I have a PlayStation 5 right now, because of GT7. Because it's not on PC. But if it was on PC, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't feel the need to have one, to have one right now. It's a good question. Because I do like playing mostly like on couch or, on a couch in the media room, hang out in there. But lately I've been playing here a lot too. So I don't know, man. I think it just depends on what they have and what they have to show. One thing about their strategy that is not exciting when they talk about getting the PC players to play the sequels on console. To me, that's a hint at like stuff like Ghost of Tsushima or like Last of Us and other games that they've come out with before. And I don't think you're going to move PC players over to console like by creating fans there because of the kinds of games that those are. Like, I think a lot of people are okay with waiting on those kind of games. Now, multiplayer stuff, you kind of like want to be part of the party, Like, I'm okay with waiting on story-based stuff. I don't know. It's just a weird strategy for them to have, thinking that way. But it's also very non-exciting because if you double this, what they said here at their strategy thing, they just whatever this thing was, where they talked about wanting to get the PC players to be excited for the sequels to go have to buy a console to play the sequels on, right? Maybe you're going to get some people like diehard fans like, oh, I have to play this game, right? I have to play this game. But they haven't had one of those in a while that you absolutely have to play it. That's like a single player game. So it doesn't make any damn sense. Like what is the game that's going to force that many people to not be able to wait and have to go buy a PS5 Pro? And if you're telling me it's sequels to their existing franchises, and that's the strategy, that's even less exciting. I don't care about another sequel to Last of Us right now. I like maybe Uncharted. Maybe if you brought back some of these other games like SOCOM or something like that, but SOCOM's multiplayer, so it should be everywhere. It should be on PC also. Like what sequels are going to push people to have to buy a PS5 Pro? I guess maybe we'll see. It doesn't sound like they're going to announce anything like that at this show, at the State of Play, because it's just stuff that's for this year. So I think we'll see Destiny. I think we'll see Concord, which are both going to be on PC. This is why this is why you can't believe anything they're saying on their fucking thing, because they talk about it like, oh, the strategy, we're really still focused on the tentpole experiences and like we're not going to put those on PC day and date and stuff like that. Well, where are those fucking games to begin with? Like, where are those games that you're talking about? Where are your sequels for all these games? The only one I will tell you I will be really excited about will be Ghost of Tsushima 2. The Wolverine I'll be excited about. That's not a sequel though. That's going to be a new one. But other than that, like right now, I don't know if they have Corey Barlog or Neil Druckmann's new game and they are really exciting. Maybe I'll be like that. But that's not the sequels, and that's not. You remember, like when they had this other business meeting thing last week, they talked about they're kind of wrapped up with the investment phase and they're more in the return phase of these IPs, and they're focused on growing these IPs, Transmedia, growing these franchises and stuff. So I don't know if we're going to see a whole lot of new IP from the single player narrative side. I think we're going to see more Horizon, more Last of Us, more Ghost of Tsushima, which we've only had one, so let's go, right? Other than that, I don't know, man. Wolverine is a sequel to Spider-Man 2, kinda. It's the same universe, right? Shout out to Lord Humongous, OCD Gamer, Eastside Vandal, Angie W. What's up? See who else we got here? And Mike H. Lafemme Topaz. How's it going, Topaz? Arthur 1. What's up? Sirve. What's up, Sirve? Ghost of Tsushima is selling well on PC. Yeah, Sony knows what they're doing. Yeah, I know a lot of people that were looking forward to playing it on PC finally, but they didn't go out and buy a PlayStation to play it, right? So, like, you're selling... This is why it doesn't make any damn sense. The strategy. You're selling the game to people that have hardware that are superior, most of them, to the regular device. That these people chose willingly to wait years to play this game. Now you're expecting these people that have already been patient for years to play this game to then decide I need to go buy a console that's another $500 piece of hardware to play the game in a worse way than what they have experienced before on their PC. More than likely, I think these people are going to be more patient and just wait for the games to go to PC. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't make any sense with the strategy. Eastside Vandal says, it makes sense. PlayStation thinks their poo-poo smells like roses. Yeah. For sure. I saw some tweets that were pretty hilarious. I like Tom Warren's tweet about this. He had said, oh, be right back. I'm trading in my RTX 4090 PC for a PS5 Pro so I can play The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. It's like savage, bro. Like, yeah, that's what their strategy is, because they're reinvesting in these same IPs over and over and over again. So they're going to make these games look slightly better, put it on PC, and resell on console for PS5 Pro again. I don't know. It doesn't fucking make any sense. I saw Paul Tassi was giving him hell, too. Let's see what Paul said. I can't remember exactly what he said. Have you enjoyed playing this game on PC? How would you like to play the next one by spending $500 on a piece of hardware that's worse than what you just played it on? It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this was, I just for the record, I want to play you Herman Hulst's strategy. Let's see here. I think Tom had shared it. Yeah, here we go.
Indeed, we are bringing our titles to the PC platform, and we have a dual approach here. On the live service side, we are releasing our titles simultaneously, so day and date, on PlayStation 5 and PC. But with our tentpole titles, our single-player or narrative-driven titles that are, as you saw in the presentation, the backbone of what PlayStation Studios has delivered in recent years and in our history, we take a more strategic approach, and we introduce our great franchises to new audiences, and we're finding new audiences that are potentially going to be very interested in playing, for example, sequels on the PlayStation platform. We have high hopes that we're actually able to bring new players into PlayStation at large, but into PlayStation platforms specifically. Actually, the same goes for the work that we do with extending our great properties onto other media, such as television series and film, for example, as you have seen with The Last of Us on HBO or Gran Turismo, the film, that brings in new players into our franchises as well.
Yeah, that's Herman Hulst, soon to be co-CEO of PlayStation. And I mean, there's some merit, like obviously the transmedia stuff, like everybody's doing it. We saw, like, there's no denying what happened with Fallout, right? There's no denying what happened with Cyberpunk 2077 because of Edge Runners and all that shit. But I don't, like, for a minute believe absolutely that they're just going to focus their tentpole franchises going forward forever into the future on console, because they just flat out lie all the time. They fucking lied out their ass at the beginning of this generation just to try and push new hardware, right? So they're gonna say whatever they got to right now to try and sell the merits of people moving up to a PS5 Pro, if they do announce it, and which rumors are they're supposed to announce it later this year. Now let's hope, because the state of play says focused on PlayStation Studios titles coming later this year, that they actually have some cool stuff. Like, anybody in the chat, like, can you name some PlayStation Studios games that are supposed to drop later this year? I already talked about Final Shape from Destiny 2. There's the possibility of getting Concord, which was slated for 2024, but smoke was happening last week that could be pushed back to 2025, so don't know what that is. Is it Baby Steps? Is that the other one? Like, is Baby Steps actually first party? I know they started their showcase last time with it, but I thought that was just like it's launching. I mean, it's coming out on Steam. It's Devolver Digital. That's not a PlayStation Studios game. It's not Baby Steps. Astro Bot, that's another one. That could happen, right? There's been a lot about that. Zero Dawn remake? Oh. Was that real? Did I miss that? Is there really a Zero Dawn remake? Or is that reports were in 2022 that's coming to PS5. Horizon Zero Dawn remake leak reveals the secret. So sources are saying there's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn remake. Come on. Really? Who the fuck wants that? Why? 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 Will this be what they try and push a PS5 Pro with? I don't know if this is the time to announce the PS5 Pro with this lineup, right? I don't know. Would anybody buy it? Would anybody buy Horizon Zero Dawn remake? Fool said PlayStation strategy is investing in more TV shows. Yeah, I mean, that's really, I mean, I'm not going to knock them there because, like, they produced some decent stuff so far. The Last of Us show is okay. It was pretty good. I liked it. I didn't like Twisted Metal. I know a lot of people loved it. I didn't like it. Fallout. I mean, did y'all see Matt Piscatella's breakdown today of, like, the Fallout series? What happened? I know not a lot of people like Matt. But I think he does a pretty good job with just breaking down like industry numbers and stuff like that, and he's pretty neutral. He says a lot of things that nobody likes, some things that some people like, all the time. But yeah, he had some info that came out today that was interesting. And I'm trying to fucking find his Twitter. For some reason, it's not showing up. See Matt Piscatelli. It's not. Come on, Matt Piscatella, where are you? Okay, here we go. All right, so here we go. Fallout video game US dollars sales ranks. So this is from this past quarter, I believe. And for April. So this is for April. For video games. This is pretty fucking crazy. We're talking about one franchise here, right? Talking about one franchise. Fallout video game US dollars sales ranks. April rank. And then showing it, and then he has in parentheses what the rank was before, like in March, what the TV show did for Fallout. Okay, so in March, Fallout 4 was number 87 in sales ranking for dollars, number 5 in the month of April for money made. In all of gaming, how old is Fallout 4 now? Number 5 overall in the month of April. And you had some decent releases. Fallout 76, number 8. Went all the way up from number 159. Fallout 4 rose from 87 to 5. Fallout 76 went all the way up to number 8. So in the month of April, you had 2 Fallout games in the top 10 in dollars made. How about this? Number 24, all the way up from number 193, Fallout New Vegas. Here's more. From 316 all the way up to number 37, Fallout 3. Fallout 4 VR even cracks the top 100. Fallout plus Fallout 2 plus Fallout Tactics bundle, number 122, all the way up from number 668. And then how about this one? All the way up from 3,976 up to 137. Fallout Special Anthology. So you got 2 cracking the top 10. You got another crack in the top 25. Another number 37. Out of all the games released, first off, I'm still impressed that some of these games were even where they were ranking anyway, like with the amount of games that constantly releasing all the time. But number 5 and 8 and 24 and 37 for the month of April. All because of the Fallout fucking TV show. You see why these companies are excited about Transmedia and doing these things? Now the show's got to hit, right? If the shows don't hit, then people associate that with the IP. So you got to make great quality shows. You can't put out shit. OCD Gamer says, I want variety from PlayStation. Me too. We're going to get some variety. Now, Concord, Helldivers 2 was, besides the fiasco that they caused with not handling things properly, the first great multiplayer experience that PlayStation's first party, well, they don't own the studio, so but it's published by PlayStation. So PlayStation Studios, whatever, has put out. It's the first great multiplayer experience they put out in a long time, right? Put it on PC. The PC community embraced it. The positive hype and momentum caused also the PlayStation console community to embrace it, and it's become a big success. They tried to fuck it over by making some really bad, stupid decisions. That game's still going to have legs. It's going to last for years to come. They announced Concord. They announced Fair Games, right? They got Marathon coming. You got Destiny 2, The Final Shape coming. So you see this multiplayer future shaping up for PlayStation a little bit. They have classic franchises. They could come back. What's weird is just like there's not a lot of like clarity right now, and what I'm hoping is we get some clarity at the state of play, at least for this year, which is what they're saying it's going to be. But I wonder how many of these games are going to be PSVR 2 games that nobody cares about. Yeah, I got sold. Make a good point. I thought gamers didn't play old games. Well, we've seen numerous times here in the Xbox ecosystem as well. When Xbox turned those servers back on for Call of Duty games, the stores were selling out of any of the old copies they had of any of these Call of Duty titles, right? You had a rush of gamers go and buy them up. When this Fallout show hit, you had a swell of gamers play these old games. Guess what? These games don't really feel old anymore, right? Especially like on PC, where you have all these advantages to update them, and they look good and they play smooth at high frame rates and stuff. And on console, they've been doing such a good job also updating games as well. Like a lot of older games play like new games, right? You can play OG Xbox One like games, and sometimes they feel fucking like amazing, like something just came out. Like this could have launched today. So really, like the old games just don't feel old. Like that Fallout 4 update, if you played it today, if that game came out today and looked like that, people would be like, oh yeah, looks like a great looking new game. Like there's not a whole lot of complaints there or visuals or anything with that Fallout 4 update. It looks good. This is when, like, I think that we've reached this level of acceptable fidelity for a long time, and it's more about polishing, optimization, updates, and increasing and improving on things slightly here and there. And we're happy to play these games as long as they look good. This is why PC players have been playing old games for forever. I mean, there's still people playing really fucking old games on PC. But yeah, this transmedia stuff gets generated excitement for the IPs and stuff. I just don't know about that whole strategy of convincing PC players to buy consoles based on sequels to old games that you're selling them. They've been patient enough to wait for those games in the first place. I don't think you're going to convince them to need to go buy something that's worse than what they're playing on. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. But then I say that, and pretty much the only reason I have a PS5 now is because of Gran Turismo. And you know what? I got to be honest. If they had an amazing fucking huge update for Gran Turismo 7, and it like really pushed things even crazy forward, and it was only on PS5 Pro where that you got all those advantages and stuff, I would have a hard time not wanting to pull the trigger on it because I love those kind of games and experiences. So I guess it just depends on the person and the situation and the time. But I don't think any of those single player games that are only single player are going to do that for people that primarily play on PC. I've always been a console gamer, so I've always gotten all the hardware. Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation. And I want to like them all. I want to play on them all. Some of them have been letting me down lately. They need to lose always online for which game, Micah? Shout out to you, Micah. It's good to see you, man. Stephen Avery, how's it going? Why is so serious? What's up? Snooky Jackson, how's it going? Game Over Cholo, how's it going? I love how much coping Xbots are doing these days. Even I was told PlayStation was dead and going day and date desperately. Yeah, it's cope. I don't know what you mean. I hope PlayStation has some good shit to show. I like Gran Turismo. I want good games to be excited about on PlayStation. I love Helldivers 2. I like playing it on my PC. So, when there's other exciting games coming, that's great. But I wouldn't trust anything they say either. Game Over Cholo. Remember when they told you to believe in the generations, right? Remember when they told you to believe in generations, that you're going to need to buy a PS5. when they were trying to separate and make Xbox seem less than, because Xbox was saying they were going to support cross-gen for a couple years. Everybody was like, the industry was like, oh, Xbox is holding things back. Xbox doing this, Xbox doing that. And then you saw PlayStation, hey, we believe in generations here, you know? And then they go out there and have more cross-gen titles than anybody, right? So I wouldn't necessarily believe everything that they say. Hey, babe. Beautiful wife Caitlin hanging out in the chat. Ray Oid, what's up? Tom from Toonami. Yeah, I don't trust. Yeah, you don't trust either, man. Like, Xbox lies. So you just look at what's in front of you and make the decision for the value that presents itself, right? And like, for me, there's more value in Xbox ecosystem. You get the games day and date on Game Pass. You get to play the games on PC and Xbox with that same subscription. Or even if you buy the game, you can still do the same thing. Plus, also, you have everything else that comes with the ecosystem, with the cloud and all that shit, too. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think a lot is made about exclusivity and what it means and everything. And that's where all the conversation's been going lately. And I just look at my experience and what I'm playing and my enjoyment level and what I have to look forward to. And right now, if I look at the games that are going to be available to me on Xbox and PC because of everything they've been doing with all the investments and all the studios, with the subscription that you actually get to play the games day and day, there's no way I look at PlayStation and be like, that's a better value for me with better things like to experience. Like, I have nothing exciting right now for me to look forward to. State of Play tomorrow, maybe it'll change. Maybe I'll see at the State of Play tomorrow. I'll see Concord and I'll be like, fuck yes, I've been waiting for a game like this. Right? And maybe I will. But right now, I don't have that. I'm still, besides Destiny and Concord, possibly. We're talking about Horizon, or Horizon Zero Dawn remake, possibly. Is there anything else? I'm excited to see what it is. It says it's the focus for games releasing later this year. So, like it says, racing games have gone downhill in the last few years. I've been pretty disappointed with Forza and GT. Yeah. They've both been getting better. Like, GT got a lot better as it's gone on. Forza Motorsport's already gotten a lot better as it's gone on, but it has a little bit more room to grow as far as like things to do outside the track. Like, on the track, fucking Forza is amazing. It's like the best, period. What I like about GT7 is there's like a lot of extra stuff in the game as well that you can play around with. And I think Forza needs some of that. I think Gran Turismo needs to improve the track experience a little bit with the physics and stuff. But overall, between the two, like, if you like sim racers, you're gonna have a good time. But they don't seem as like GT7 on the track feels like hasn't evolved as much. Where Forza on the track feels like it's evolved more, but it's lacking all the other extra bells and whistles that Forza used to have outside, right? Where GT7 excels in that way now. So it's interesting. I like them both, though. I have fun with them both. And I hope they keep updating them. Sup Tavish. Cygnus. What's going on? Magnum. Didn't that Grub dude say it was going to be a showcase? I don't know exactly what he said. I know that there was a lot of point of contention over whether there was going to be a PlayStation showcase or not. And there's a PlayStation show, State of Play. I was in Dirt's chat when he was streaming last week, and because I'd watched the business update event thing, and I was pretty damn sure, or the Sony Beyond thing, whatever they call it, right? I was pretty sure if there was going to be like a major summer showcase soon, at that point, they would have mentioned it at that business thing that they were doing, updating shareholders, because they would be like, hey, look forward to this show where we're going to have talking about the future of PlayStation. Because if they have like a major showcase, they're talking about stuff that is bigger news. For me, if it's a state of play, it's usually not as big. They have had really good state of plays before, but once they didn't mention it at all at that business thing, like, hey, shareholders, stay tuned, you're going to be really excited. But once they didn't mention anything of that stuff, like, I was like, okay, it's probably just going to be like a state of play, right? Fuzzy Belvedere is like man of tea leaves, man. He nailed it. He nailed what the showcase. If y'all don't remember Fuzzy on our shows last year, before the big Sony showcase, where we were wondering, are they going to finally deliver the hopes and dreams of the future roadmap of PlayStation, all this stuff? And he was like, no, they're going to have a bunch of games of service stuff. And the PlayStation fans are going to hate it. It's like, what? PlayStation is going to actually announce just only mainly big games of service games? They're not even going to... And he was like, yeah, I think it's going to be like a 6 or 7 or just kind of a bad show or whatever. And we're like, okay. Like, because we were thinking they were going to finally lay out the pipeline because it was so dry, right? But yeah, he was right. Like, that showcase last season, it sucked ass. Psycho was right about it too. He said that it was going to be very ill received and bland, and it wasn't going to have a lot of excitement. But I don't. Me and Pong and like other people in our shows and stuff, we're all thinking that PlayStation was going to deliver last year at their show, right? No, and then Fuzzy again nailed it on Twitter. I wonder if I can find his tweet because like he said this back like on the 20th, I think, or something. Yeah, Fuzzy says this was back on the 22nd. I'm gonna read you what Fuzzy said. So this is just for the record. So everybody pay attention to what Fuzzy Belvedere says, okay? Fuzzy said May 28th or 29th announcement. State of play, May 30th, 2024 for Destiny 2, The Final Shape, Concord, Baby Steps, and V Rising game. This literally could be the show. Like, he got the 29th announcement. He got state of play for the 30th. Exact day. We're gonna have VR stuff there. We can probably guarantee the Final Shape's gonna be there. I think Concord will probably be there, like he says. Baby Steps, we already talked about it. The V Rising makes sense because I don't think that's launching on Xbox this year. It's already on PC, but it's coming to PlayStation soon. So, yeah, fucking like Fuzzy, man. He just nails this stuff. Now, there's been a lot of speculation on a lot of this. I know that there was one person in our chat like a week ago. Maybe it's during Mavcast or it's during something else. I can't remember. But they were in our chat. They were saying, I've seen behind the scenes stuff. And he said, they're going to have an end of May show, and Concord looks amazing, and Concord is doing things never been seen before, or something like that. Like, okay, whatever, random person in chat. I don't know. Concord is going to be interesting to find out what it is because it's a new studio, right? Final Shape, I don't care, to be honest with you. So, I don't know. We'll go into this tomorrow. Pong and I are going to watch it. And on stream, we're gonna co-stream this sucker and go right into PM in the PM, and we'll be able to give our thoughts on how we thought the show went, the state of play was, and if there's anything exciting for us. The VR stuff, I hope there's only like a couple things. I hate that they even have to like mention it in the announcement because it makes me think like half of it is fucking VR stuff, and I don't care, you know. Ninja Squirrel 30 says Xbox Sega long-term partnership rumors circling if not acquisition, then the above whole gaming catalog for free. Use of xCloud servers apparently. Anything's possible, man. Like the Sega and Xbox have been getting really cozy the last couple years. I was speculating that we could potentially at the showcase see a Game Pass announcement of some Sega games, especially those nostalgia games they were doing, like um, Crazy Taxi and all those games that they were making. I thought those would be perfect for Game Pass too, and maybe they would make some kind of announcement of some of those going to Game Pass. But yeah, like Sega could have more and more Atlas games. Or keep getting announced for Xbox as well, and they have a good relationship. I remember that. So we just saw this other thing like that was going around yesterday or the day before. I can't remember, but it was like a shot of Shin Megami Tensei, and it had a Game Pass logo on the bottom. Then they claim, oh, this was an error. Who knows? HNS says, make sure when you watch the show live on the podcast that you have a tissue box beside you, because you will probably be laughing your head off on how bad the show was. Well, I'm pretty easy to please usually with showcases. Sometimes I can get irritated or annoyed or just like bored. And you can easily tell how I'm feeling. Like I'm either amped up, fucking excited, or I'm just like this. You know. If you see me watching the showcase and I'm just sitting there like this, you know it's the fucking bore fest for me. And I've had a few shows from PlayStation recently that have been like that. No matter, Stephen Avery says, no matter what Concord is, Reforged will say it's great. There'll be a lot of people that say it's great no matter what it is. I tend to give games the benefit of the doubt. Like, games are games, right? Like, for me, I want to play them. I want them to be good. There's certain shit that I see that I just cannot get excited for, and I think that it's just going to be, like, ridiculous, and you can honestly see just what a cash grab it is, or, like, trying to copy something else, and that kind of stuff. I don't know. But, like, for example, Foam Stars. Like, the second they showed that game, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's Splatoon. Like, they really just were trying to literally create an exclusive PlayStation Splatoon. So, for me, I'm like, it doesn't excite me whatsoever. The media isn't biased, though. Oh, media. Oh, don't get me started on the media biases. So what do we think? And what are we predicting, like, guys? How many PlayStation first party studio games that are not remasters will actually launch later in the second half? Will they actually have... Okay, let me rephrase this. Will Sony have a big first party exclusive game for the second half of 2024? Would be Astro Bot is what y'all are calling. That's gonna be hilarious if Astro like ends up being the savior for their 2024 second half. Yeah, I saw that, Nate Dogg. It's interesting. I mean, I think So Nate Dogg asked, did I see what Hip Hop Gamer was saying today? I saw, like, basically footnotes of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing. But what I saw, the overall big takeaway from Hip Hop Gamer was that Halo, they're planning on a Halo going to PlayStation by 2026, and that the next Xbox is going to be more open. Like, kind of like an open-ended platform. That's already been heavily rumored and pushed by Jez. So that, and speculated about by many, about the potential future Xbox hardware, and it could be more of an open ecosystem kind of thing. Steam on it as well, all these other kind of situations, right? The Halo on PlayStation, I don't know what that means, right? I don't know if it's the whole experience. I don't know if it's Halo Infinite multiplayer. I don't know if it's Master Chief Collection. I don't know if it's a new Halo game that's going to be like a Halo Battle Royale that's going to come out around that time. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it means, and I didn't listen to his whole thing, so I don't know exactly where he's going with it. Personally, for me, I don't care. I know a lot of people will care. I just want myself to have a good fucking experience. If I have a good experience and I have access to the game and I'm enjoying what I'm playing on and I'm enjoying the hardware, I'm enjoying the software, and I'm enjoying my playtime, and I'm enjoying the value and the access that I have to access the content, then I'm happy. So I don't know, like open-ended ecosystems as a consumer, that excites me, right? Potential there. Does it damage the experience at all? I don't know. We'd have to find out what their vision is. It's hard to react and speculate too much on these kind of things. Like, we can talk about it for days and days and days without fucking really knowing anything or have any fucking clue right now. We see all this talk and all this conversation, but what if the reality seems a lot more awesome than the words that people are speaking, right? Like, what if I want to give these companies a chance to show us their vision before we destroy it and ever give it a chance. Like, if something has potential consumer value and has potential value for me as having the option for Steam, right, or whatever, if it has the potential to benefit me, then I'm willing to give them an opportunity to show me what their vision is before I destroy it, right? Unless they just always tend to fuck up and lie to us, which for me, for Xbox, hasn't really been the case this generation. Like, yeah, not everything is panned out, especially mainly with the cadence of games. Like, overall, like, that we've had a slower rollout of the games to this point because of many different reasons. But that's like over now. You know, like, we have how many fucking games coming out the second half of this year, and we just got Hellblade 2 already, and there's probably announcing other things for Xbox, and then there's no sign of that slowing. Like, and they're all sticking into Game Pass. They just mentioned that Call of Duty also is going into Game Pass again. Like, for me, I'm looking at it like, holy fuck, that's great for me. That's amazing for me, you know? Reputation of Xbox. If we worry about the reputation of Xbox as a brand, I think a lot of conversation about that. And as I heard the term used a lot, I see in the chat here too, brand damage. How can we prevent brand damage? If we don't think that Xbox has already pretty much had the most brand damage that they can sustain in gaming over the last decade almost, right? Ever since last generation started and the whole DRM fiasco, ever since all of that stuff, ever since the TV, ever since those moments, it's brand damage is no longer a concern for the future of Xbox. It's been in the shitter, to be honest with you, as far as like the average consumer's perception of Xbox. So like the overall like word out there about people being concerned about brand damage, I don't really understand that when we've been in this fucking situation that we've been in for so damn long with Xbox that we're thinking about their brand going forward and damaging that. Like, I think for a lot of people, and I think for a lot of us, like, that have been in the ecosystem, we're like, hey, I still love this thing. I don't fucking know what everybody's complaining about all the time. But brand damage isn't something I'm worried about, because if you talk to average consumer people out there, they don't even think about Xbox. They think about PlayStation. They think about Nintendo. Now maybe, just hypothetically, what people are worried about as being brand damage going forward is actually going to be good for the brand, because they're going to be delivering experiences to more gamers that constantly ignore or don't give Xbox a fair shake. Stephen Avery says brand damage is why Sony doesn't want to do PC day and date. I'll tell you, Sony's fucking liars, first off. The second that their console sales are to the point where they see that this is going to be no longer the way forward, and I think there's a battle going on internally at PlayStation over what the vision is. I think once they get to that same point that everybody's getting to, they're going to double down and eventually start putting all their games PC day and date. Plus, also move away from the console seller kind of games, and they'll start focusing on games that make more money. Because they keep talking about how those games they're so expensive. We saw the leaks. We saw the leaks from Insomniac, the conversations about budgets and all these things. Like, they're talking about having to make the next Spider-Man into three parts because of cost. So for me, I'm looking at, they're going to see where the money is, and they're going to see what's really working, and they're just going to do that. Because that's business, right? Like, that's the common sense thing to do in business is take care of your shareholders, take care of your things. And if people are playing their games and spending their money, that's the future of the brand. Whatever that is, you know? Does that mean that there's this utopia or this dystopian future where no consoles exist, like shortly, like soon? No, it's going to be a transition over time. But they're going to try and sell the hardware as long as possible, right? As long as possible. They're going to keep it up for now. But if they're going to shift. The whole idea about being this, we're better than, right? Because we believe in this, and you know, we're about quality, we're about premium, all that kind of, it's a bunch of fucking horse shit. Condo. It's what they're preaching and stuff at the Sony thing. And they got some good games, right? They got some really good games, but they're not necessarily going to move PlayStations like they want them to. And that's just unfortunately the reality. It hasn't this generation. They're not doing as well as they want. And it's not because of shortages anymore. So right now, when they're about to announce a PS5 Pro, do you think they're going to go up there and tell you that all their games in the future are going day and date? No. They say they have a twofold strategy right now. They say their tentpole franchises or tentpole type games are going to still be on PC or on console day one, and then later on PC. Why are they saying this? Because they want people to feel like they have a reason to buy a PlayStation Pro, regardless of what they actually deliver. The same reason they told everybody to believe in generations at the beginning of this generation of consoles. That is what they said then. Remember, they were, and why did they say it? Remember what the conversation was about Xbox, right? They whatever the conversation is about Xbox, they market the opposite. It's like what they always do. They try and take advantage of the negativity around the Xbox brand and flip it to be their positive conversation and thing with gaming. This one kind of backfired on their faces, though, because their strategy that they talked about, people are just making fun of them left and right. How long is that going to be their bread and butter, Cygnus? We'll see. They need it to be for a lot longer than Xbox does because they don't have the ecosystem. But what they're trying to do is they're building the ecosystem. They're building all of that to eventually get there. But they're behind in that situation. They're behind in that scenario. They don't have a PC store, right? They just announced they're opening a mobile stuff, right? They're going to be opening mobile stuff too. They're going to be making mobile games. They are branching out to all these other things to just think that they're one track pony going forward, and that's all they're gonna do, and that's all they're gonna focus on, is just it's naive when you look at everything else they've told us in the past, and also where the industry's going. They know what they got to do. But when they're going to announce the PS5 Pro possibly this year, they're not going to go up there and tell you that their tentpole type franchises are going to go to console day and date. Or going to go to PC day and date. They're not going to tell you that. What they're going to tell you is, oh, those experiences are going to still come to console first. But what they may not say is we don't have too many of those. Most of our games are actually going to be games of service games that are actually going to console and PC day and date because we've shifted focus here. How many of those tentpole games do they have right now? Are they just talking about remasters and remakes? What is it that they're working on? Finally, hopefully we get some kind of clear answers about what the future vision is of those tentpole type games that they say are only going to be on console first. Right now, they don't have any of them announced. Maybe... Is it okay? So let's look at Death Stranding 2. Is Death Stranding 2 maybe? Right? We'll see. I hope so. I hope that they deliver. I hope they announce some cool shit. I hope Concord blows my fucking mind. I hope that it does, because I know when we watch the Xbox show later this summer, we're going to see a lot of fucking games that are going to launch this year and next and next. And I won't be, like many, I won't be thinking about exclusivity. I'll be thinking of myself. And like, holy shit, I get to play these games. Web Dave heard this earlier. I'm sorry I missed this, Dave. $2 super chat says, Mav, let's rock. Hit the like button, dude. You sent that so long ago, bro. I missed it. Appreciate you for being here and all the support and everybody here hanging out in the chat. Is it Bibajar? Biba Jr.? Bibacher? I don't know. BBAJR says, I think it will be small show of third parties. The PlayStation show is going to be a smaller show. It's a little over 30 minutes, I think. It's like 14 plus games, some of them VR2 games. And it says focus on PlayStation Studios games launching this year. So with a focus on. So I don't know exactly what that means. Like, I don't think it means it's all we get, obviously. But maybe the time that we get for some of those games is longer, right? So let's say they have like 3 games coming out this year. Horizon Zero Dawn Remake, if that's one of them. Concord. And then maybe Final Shape for Destiny. Maybe those get more time, right? And then we kind of see some of the other games. Yeah, I want to see what the announcement said again. So, because usually with these, they're pretty clear and transparent on what to expect because they don't want disappointment from people. Yeah, it says tune in for updates on 14 PS5 and PSVR 2 titles. Come with the including a look at PlayStation Studios titles arriving later. So it's not a focus on, actually. It says including a look at. So maybe there is going to be more third-party stuff. You could be right. I don't know. It's a good thought. Were we going to... Remember, didn't Konami say we're going to see the Silent Hill again on the 30th? So that'll probably be there. Big Mad Mo, member for 14 months, says boot on next season in full effect. Appreciate you, Big Mad Mo. Big Mad Mo says, Matt, that ain't a show. That's a throw together so we have something. Hey guys, we're showing tomorrow. Give me something. I don't know what they'll be, man. Like, is Concord gonna look great? That's gonna be one. Like, What is it? Until Dawn shown wouldn't surprise me. I fucking don't. Please don't spend too much time on that for me. I don't want to. I don't care. Like, does that game need to be remade? Is there anybody in the chat that would be excited for the Until Dawn remake? I get excited for. Here's why I'm a little like. I'm not trying to like say they're not going to have cool stuff. I think they will. But when you have it, it's just a state of play. It's not. I'm not. My expectations are been reeled in for this, right? Like, I think I'm still wanting that big Sony show, and I think we're gonna have to wait for it. I think it's the big Sony show will be like, hopefully later this year. And we speculated on this on the shows, like maybe they will do like a August September show with the announcement of the PS5 Pro at that time, because it makes more sense then, closer to launch, if they are actually doing it, right? And then maybe at that show is when we get the future roadmap of those tentpole Sony games, right? But here, at this, I think we're going to get some of those kind of games that there's some excitement for, but we don't have, they're not, the big games that people are really looking forward to. And I don't think we're going to get to look forward to big, huge announcements from PlayStation for new games that we haven't heard of. Like, we're not going to get a new SOCOM announcement here, right? That some of us like are hoping for, We're not going to get Ghost of Tsushima 2 announced at this thing. Maybe we do. And if they do that stuff and they actually show some big stuff here, I'd be like, fuck yes, let's go. I'll be excited. But I don't think that's what we're getting. I think we're just getting kind of like, hey, that's what we got for the second half of this year. Here's what to look forward to. Right? And it'll be some of these other kind of games. But yeah, we'll have to find out. Yeah, Sony will make us. Remember, their bigger shows the last couple years have generally been later in the year. 30 minutes of mid. What's up, Berg? How's it going, dude? Silent Hill could be awesome, but let's hope they have a better showing than last time, because the last showing was ass of Silent Hill. And this is their second chance to show it in a better way. And it's the kind of game that you would expect to, like, you compare what they showed last time to like something like Resident Evil. It's like, whoa, it's fucking, they're missing the mark. Ray White says, I guess they no longer do Hopes and Dreams showcases. We'll see. Maybe they do in the future. Maybe they do later this year. The 2016 PlayStation E3 showcase was one of the best showcases ever for a first party platform. Period. Maybe could be the best for any platform holder ever, for what they showed for coming soon big time games all at one show. That was the Hopes and Dreams show. That was like, holy shit, look at this. And fuck, did that carry forward the momentum last generation? They had 4 years of smooth sailing after that show. Since then, we haven't really gotten anything like that. Like Lego Horizon MMO. Maybe we see that. Do we see the announcement of the Horizon Battle Royale? Something like this? I don't think there's any big, exciting things to look forward to. I think we're going to see what they said. So, yeah, well, we'll find out tomorrow. We're going to co-stream it. And, like, I've given past state of plays 9s before when some people didn't like it because I was excited about what they showed or thought they did a great job. I've absolutely hated some of their state of plays before and shit all over them. I think last year they had one I gave it like a 3. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they got. And the strategy thing is what people are saying, like we're just shitting all over the place. I'm just putting holes in that strategy. I think it's like a bunch of bullshit. Over time, you're gonna see them shift, just like they've been shifting. Did they announce the state of delay yet? We'll see. People thought that Concord had been delayed to 2025. People were saying that all week last week, and they thought it happened because everybody kept talking about it. Like, I don't know what's going. Was there an official announcement of this? Because like all this that came out last week about their games as service games being pushed to 2025, where did that come from? Because everybody's saying if they're going to show Concord here. So I want to know, is that something I'm probably going to get to look forward to? I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But, I'm going to do a quick Google search. PlayStation delays 2025. We'll see what comes up. Okay. All right. This was in November of 2023. Fuck, PlayStation delays half of its major live service games out of 2025. Okay, hold on. That was old. Fuck. Okay. I forgot about this. This is another reason I call bullshit to the strategy thing about our tentpole games are going to still be on console first. Well, how many of them do you have? Because it seems like everything you're doing is mostly games of service now. So it's like, hey, that one game, less is more. That one game is going to be the reason to own a PS5 Pro. Sony delays live service PS5 games to 2025 due to lack of quality. That was from True Trophies in May. Okay. This is from True Trophies. I don't know. But this is, I think, where people are getting this information from. Because this was on May 17th, which would coincide where people were talking about all this stuff. So PlayStation Studios, this is from Kess Ehlers-Stevenson, says PlayStation Studios is renowned for producing incredible games. But in the latest financials, COO Hiroki Totoki confirmed that Sony's PS5 live service games lacked quality. So how does Sony intend to solve the issue? Well, it pushed all of its PS5 games back to 2025 and 2026 to brush up everything. New PlayStation Studios may help with PS5 live service slippages. Okay, ever since Sony's live service games scaled back, it's become clear something fundamental has shifted at the company. Between the retirement of Jim Ryan, the cancellation of Naughty Dog games, and studio closures, things have been moving fast at Sony. Well, we are starting to see the bigger picture thanks to the latest post-financial report Q&A with Sony SOO and CFO Hiroki Totoki. The initial question was about the return on investment from new studios that it had acquired in the timeline of live service releases, including Concord's 2024 release date. Totoki presented his view on the delayed returns on investment in new expensive studios making PS5 live services like Bungie, Haven, and Firewalk in the future. Please bear in mind, these quotes have been translated. For the first-party software for fiscal year 2025 and 2026, the tentpole-like titles and live services will be launched, Totoki stated. Basically, the first-party software needs to be ramped up. So for this reason, we are making investment in the area, and we are continuing to develop this area. Originally, we expected some return. Return is not yielded based on the original expectation because yield has slippage. The brushing up of the titles and also the quality may not be as high as expected by the users, so we have to brush up on the titles. So there has been more slippages than we expected at the beginning. So we have to factor them in. For the next 3 years period, how effectively can we make a portfolio, build our portfolio? That's going to be important. In short, Totoki is revealing that the quality of Sony's live service games simply wasn't high enough, given its previous output of award-winning games. Here, the company is confirming that much of its upcoming PlayStation games have been pushed back to 2025 and 2026 because it had to brush up in order to rethink the wider portfolio. This is the first time Sony has publicly acknowledged a slip in the entire PlayStation studios. When we were talking about this, people gave us so much shit when we said they had a first-party games problem. I said it on Twitter. I said it on multiple shows. The PlayStation community fucking came at me so fucking hard for this. But here they are talking about it publicly to their investors. In effect, Sony is admitting that its PS5 games output has been too far low recently and that it is seeking to rectify that over the next 2 years. To do so, it is going to pump even more money into it. Awesome. Cool. I think this is a fascinating moment, particularly because we rarely hear Sony speak of the quality not being high enough. In fact, it normally talks about the quality of its games. Like God of War and Uncharted being the highest in the industry. So for Totoki to be this forthright with investors confirms that suspicion we've all had, that something went very wrong with Sony's live service gaming plans. I think that is truly fascinating. Hopefully the line of upcoming PS5 games start to have a bit more first-party presence. What do you think of the admission that quality wasn't high enough? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you there. All right, so this was from True Trophies. Decent article, very neutral, just kind of put out there what they were saying. And yeah, I didn't see anything saying specifically that Concord was delayed. So I think a lot of people were running with that and the financial report and Hiroki's comments as like, hey, there's nothing. So we'll see. Maybe Concord actually hits this year. If it does, cool. I'm excited to see it, and I'll give it a shot. I probably will play it on PC, though. And it has potential because if it's launching on PC and PS5 day and date, if it's a really good game and they actually have this quality like Helldivers 2 had at launch, the PC community could really pick up on it. Who knows? You should just call it Slate of Remakes. But I will tell you what I'm not going to be excited to see. Any fucking remakes or remasters from PlayStation exclusive games that have launched at some point in the last 10 years. I want free updates on those kind of games. I don't want to rebuy them. I will not be excited for that. I reserve stuff like that for the older franchises that are more classic, that are really get brought to life. Like if they announce like the Marcus Phoenix collection, right? Plus also I don't have to buy it because it's being Game Pass. Or if Xbox announces the Oblivion remake. Those are older ones that like finally, right? I'm fucking excited about Until Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn. You talk about like, hey, we're remaking the first Infamous and bringing it to life like in a big way. I'll be like, fuck yes, let's go. Right? That I would be excited for. Yeah, MG, like Infamous 1 and 2 remake. Oh my god, yes. Let's go. That would be fucking incredible. Yeah, SOCOM collection. You guys, this is the kind of shit that would excite me. Bringing back those franchises. What about Resistance, right? We're going to remake Resistance or like you could do that. There's so much other fucking opportunities out there that you could do that would be exciting, right? This is why I also like when they talk about this, like the history, again, I'll say it, the history of PlayStation is not just narrative based action, story based kind of games like that. It's way more. But they like are selling in our minds when they're talking about this is what PlayStation's always been about. No, it's fucking not. There used to be so much more variety and different kinds of games in PlayStation library. It wasn't until about a decade ago, 10 years ago, is when they really went that direction. And it's killed it for them. But it doesn't mean it's everything that they've been. Yeah, the whole PS1, PS2 era, most of PS3 era had a lot of variety. When they flipped the switch, it really worked for them. And now it's how they see who they are. And they have always been. It's just not true, right? They're kind of, in a way, getting back to who they are by having more kinds of experiences get announced. It's just they've lost the way of doing it. Like they're struggling to make these other kind of games. So we'll see. Helldivers 2 was amazing, and it's going to continue to be successful. I still like GT7 a lot. They're kind of in a rock and a hard place for me at a lot of times because like they've trained and sold this one idea so much to their user base, to their fans about this is what premium quality, action adventure narrative based games. This is what we do. We tell stories. Like this is the PlayStation way. Nobody can do it better than this is the only kind of games that matter. All that kind of shit, right? So when they have shows where they kind of like, hey, look at this. Look at this other thing we're doing. Look at this. Hey, we got this multiplayer thing. Hey, look at this. They're like, where's Uncharted 5? You know, where's Ghost of Tsushima 2? Where's The Last of Us 3? Right? Oh, you have to wait. Here's a remake. Here's a remaster. I just prefer variety in the first party portfolio. You know, I think we're getting more of it from them, but it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I want to know what games are 2024. We'll find out tomorrow. The state of play, PM and the PM. Pong Soul and I will be co-streaming the show. Again, for those that weren't here earlier, we're talking about it. Pong and I will go live at about 5:45 Eastern time, about 15 minutes before showtime. Before State of Play starts, we'll do the co-stream for State of Play. We'll watch it, and then we'll go right into a regular episode of PM and the PM afterwards, all in one stream. So, but if you choose to come and hang out with us and watch it, don't expect a lot of negativity during the show. That's not how we watch shows. I want to watch it, and I want to take it all in and hope, hey, show me what I have to be excited about this year, right? Sell me on something. That's what we kind of go into it as, and we get excited to see fucking games more than anything. And God, if you really want to see some fucking hype with what we're expecting to have at the Xbox show, come hang out with us on the Xbox show when we're doing those co-streams. So we'll be co-streaming everything this season, and we're talking about the next 10 days, guys. Like the next 9, 10, 11 days, 12 days, whatever. There's going to be just so much shit. We're going to try and co-stream as much as possible. But yeah, when we get to the Summer Game Fest show, Keeley show, when we get to the Xbox showcase, all those Ubisoft Forward, wow, there's going to be so much hype. So much fucking hype. Yeah, we get excited. We get a little excited sometimes. Maybe a little bit too much. But there could be something here that gets us that way too. I really hope so. I want them to have something that tells Pong he has to go buy a PlayStation, right? That's what they're wanting. That's what they want, right? But I just don't think that's what we're gonna get at a State of Play. We'll see. The August, maybe they'll have. I'll make a prediction now. Okay. Late August. My knowing nothing, back of the brain, trying to be positive, hypothetical speculation, and my guess is that late August we will get a regular big PlayStation show. And at that show, they will announce a PS5 Pro, and they will announce a roadmap of content for the next like kind of year and a half or so, 2 years. New big game announcements. Maybe they show Wolverine again for the first time then. Vicky Bengali says Xbox is the cornerstone of modern console gaming. Right on. It's going to be interesting to see how everybody feels like and the perception of Xbox change over time as their vision changes. Like as people are playing Call of Duty and Game Pass and as people are doing these other things and like buying into these other experiences, like where their name is more everywhere all the time. How does the overall perception change of Xbox? If they do announce the next Xbox console later this generation and the next Xbox console that comes in 2026 is this more open-ended ecosystem that has multiple storefronts on it like Steam and stuff like that and pushes that forward, how does a perception from non-Xbox fans, right? Because like Xbox diehards, I think for the most of us, we're just gonna buy the console because like we like the ecosystem. But like for the other people that are more casual or just looking for the next thing to buy in gaming, how will that perception change over the next few years? Xbox are done. Nobody is moving from to Xbox. That's a very false statement. You know why? Because gamers are moving to PC in droves right now. And if you're just speaking of console hardware, Xbox is so far past that you miss the boat of what's actually happening in gaming in general. They're just so far beyond console hardware versus PlayStation hardware. Like, that day is done. For anybody, I see this all the time. For anybody that thinks buying an Xbox game or playing an Xbox game on PC is somehow hurting Xbox or not helping Xbox, you're delusional. You could buy a game on Steam. You could buy it on fucking PC. It doesn't matter. The day is done. It's over. You're missing the complete fucking picture of what this whole thing is about, of what they're trying to do. It is not buy this box and your experience is only here. They made that decision last generation. Like, it's hilarious to me too, the people that think that, because I've seen this a lot, right? Since Call of Duty has announced that it's coming to Game Pass, like officially. That, oh, I'm not gonna support Xbox. I'm gonna buy Call of Duty on PlayStation. I'm not gonna go to Game Pass. I'm not gonna go, like, I'm not gonna buy an Xbox, buy Call of Duty or play in Game Pass. I'm gonna buy Call of Duty on PlayStation. I'm gonna show Xbox. Man, they're really gonna be hurt. You think you're hurting Xbox by buying their game? They get your money either way. If you buy an Xbox console and you get Game Pass, guess what? You're a subscriber. You're contributing to the ecosystem. They're getting your money every month, right? You're going to play Call of Duty. Maybe not. Maybe there's more people that play than before because maybe there's gamers that weren't interested as much in COD that all of a sudden start playing it because they have access to it. Maybe there's just people that try and buy it traditionally like they always have because they don't care about Game Pass or whatever. Maybe there's a bunch of PlayStation guys that are just going to always buy Call of Duty and nothing changes for them because it's just another fucking Call of Duty. That's fine with them. That's completely fine with Xbox. They want you to buy their games in different places. You think when they put some of those other games on PlayStation, they were hoping you didn't buy them? You know, show us. Don't buy the game over there, you know. Of course they want you to buy them. Show Xbox. I'm going to buy this game on PlayStation. I'm going to show Xbox. I'm not going to subscribe to Game Pass. I'm just going to buy their games. I'm just going to buy their games instead. I'll fucking show them. And for other people that think, oh, Call of Duty is going to kill, or Game Pass is going to kill Call of Duty. Like, what are they doing? How? This big-ass company deciding to do this and still making all the money from all the people buying Call of Duty the regular way. Getting some extra subscriptions from people that are subscribing to Game Pass that may or how many of them stay, how many of them come, who knows? They're willing to wait and see. But I will tell you this. For every extra person that doesn't subscribe to Game Pass to get access to Call of Duty, that's still a sale if they still sell the game to that person. Like, they're winning either way here. They're going to have more people play also that didn't play it before. There's so many different aspects to the success and the reasoning that they're doing all this and what it means in the grander scope of things. And I tell you, maybe the multi-platform games we're doing now, like, it's just part of the smaller piece to the bigger puzzle. And we're going to find out what that vision is. And we'll hold their feet to the fire. Like, I didn't like when they closed Tango. I didn't like when they closed Arcane Austin, right? I think it's against the vision. We spoke up about it here. We were called pony bots when we did that because some people think you have to have some kind of a side that you're standing on. For me, I just want fucking games and I want them to be good and I want studios to make games and I want them to make their visions, right? And that's what I think ultimately still right now Xbox gives us the best chance of having that. But we'll see what happens in the future, man. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see. What's up, Calorie? What's up, dude? How's it going? Ninja Squirrel 30, what's up? Flush Jackson. Look at Rainbow Six Siege. Ubisoft probably won't even kill that game with its submodel. Game Pass is fine. What's a pony bot? So I've been asking the question too, Gene. Apparently, if you talk negatively whatsoever about Xbox at any time, you're a pony bot. Because if you're an Xbox fan, you're supposed to only talk positively all the time. According to some out there, right? Doesn't matter how much you play on PlayStation or anything. Like, you get labeled as that if you are critical of Xbox at any time. Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't know. Yeah. For me, there's never been a side. There's never been sides. The side for me is like myself. Like, if I'm picking a side for gaming, I'm picking a side of my own personal enjoyment because it's a fucking hobby that I play. I don't care how much money Microsoft makes. I care what they give me. I don't care how much money PlayStation makes. I care what they give me. I care what I have the opportunity to play. And I will be critical or positive about anything that affects that potential. More so than the potential earning money they're going to make or if they're sustainable or any of that shit, right? So when we got critical about them actually closing studios, that was flight in the face of everything they said before about, developers embracing their vision, investing in them, all that kind of stuff. So we were critical of it, right? Been crazy critical of PlayStation because they are not delivering the kind of experiences that I personally have been looking forward to from PlayStation, and it's been that way for a while. Yeah, right on, man. Nate Doc says, "What do you think of Black Ops 6 trailer?" I think it was good, man. I think they're doing a really fucking good job with the Black Ops marketing right now, with the physical stuff, like you saw like news van driving around the city. You have like these real world moments captured and kind of brought to life and twisted in a different way, and like I think, especially for a generation of people that play COD like us, like that's really interesting what they're doing with the marketing because we've lived it. A lot of us lived it. We were kids and stuff like in the early 90s or late 80s, and then teenagers into the 2000s. And so, like we saw a lot of this stuff play out, right? And it's really interesting to see their take on it with the marketing. I think it's drumming up a lot of interest and excitement. I think it's going to be fresh a little bit in some ways, and I think it's going to be exciting for the Call of Duty community. I know X Defiant's trying to make their push right now with their free-to-play multiplayer game. I think that community is going to kind of be there, and it's going to fizzle out once Call of Duty comes. And then when people get sick of COD, people play X Defiant again some. And they'll kind of continue doing both. We'll see what X Defiant becomes eventually. I don't know how successful it's going to be long-term or not. They've changed the game already dramatically since it's been in preview. But yeah, I'm excited for Black Ops. It's going to be interesting to see how many people may play Call of Duty that haven't been playing Call of Duties. Because there's a lot of people that have been like, I'm done with COD for a while. But if you get it in Game Pass and you're already subscribed, like, why the fuck not? Like why not just play it if you're interested at all? So I think there's going to be a lot of people that may dive back into Call of Duty just because of the fact that it's there. And I think that fact may actually drive a lot of marketing for Game Pass as well. Spoolie Zio2 says, what experiences are you looking for in Xbox? Oh, fuck, man. Age of Mythology Retold is coming out later this year. Towerborn, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm excited about what that could be because it's kind of like, seems like a Castle Crashers type game that's going to be like more like expand over time. Avowed, fucking really excited for because it's a traditional Western RPG from Obsidian and fantasy based. You know how fucking long it's been since we've gotten that? I'm super excited. Now, I'm not talking about their CRPGs like Pillars of Eternity and stuff. I'm talking about the others. Like back in the day that they like when they made Fallout New Vegas. That's post-apocalyptic. That's a traditional Western RPG, right? They made Outer Worlds, which was a sci-fi. It's been a while since that came out. But this is like fantasy-based. And I haven't seen Obsidian do fantasy-based like this. Maybe... Well, did they ever? In a Western RPG? Is this their first fantasy-based Western RPG? I know they've done CRPGs numerous times. They did Neverwinter Nights 2. They did the Pillars franchise. They did another game on, was it Tyranny? Maybe. They did several. They did some PC games, right? But yeah, this may be their first real full force fantasy based Western RPG, and I'm fucking stoked about that, dude. So Avowed, Indiana Jones. Dude, Machine Games, what they showed with that trailer, that looks sick. I'm super excited about that. That's all this year. That's all of this year. The new Flight Sim, if you don't like Flight Sim, it's cool, but like I actually enjoy it. It's a chill game to play. So they're having a new Flight Sim this year. Fuck. I'm excited about the updates on all the existing games that they're doing too. Shattered Space for Starfield, the expansion on that. I'm super looking forward to that. So that's supposed to be this year. And they talked about it's going to be a huge. They called it a massive expansion. So there's that. Diablo 4 expansion, Vessels of Hatred. I'm really looking forward to that. Fable. If you want to go beyond that, we talk about Fable. Talk about Perfect Dark. Talk about South of Midnight. Talk about Clockwork Revolution. Talk about Contraband. Gear 6 when it eventually going to get announced because that's what they're working on. What the future of Halo? Like, there's so much fucking to be excited about with Xbox. It's like crazy. Blade. When they come out, when they finally show more of that game, it'll be insane. I mean, we just got it announced back in December at the Game Awards. Truth Serum says, been talking about those games for 4 years. Release already. Yeah, they're gonna. They're gonna. I think this year at the Xbox Showcase, we see some more of those. State of Decay 3. It's one of those. I think we see Perfect Dark this year, for sure. We saw Fable last year. Fable and Perfect Dark, for me, I'm still guessing might both be 2025 games. We might potentially could see like what Double Fine's been working on, other stuff like that, smaller games like that this year too. So there's just a lot. It's a lot. Let's see if I can bring up the list of games that are supposed to be coming sooner. Yeah, Aura. I'm excited to try that on PC. Everwild, I'm not going to say I'm excited for it yet because I have no idea what the fuck it is. I do want to see them acknowledge Forza Motorsport and talk about a big update for it. Like a big update. I would really like to see that. Let's see what else. As far as announced stuff, like right now, that's the things I'm excited about the most. There's so much potential though, like what they could do. You hope you make your own character on Fable, but I'm doubting it. Well, you've been like in the past, they've done it different ways. Like you've chosen like a starting character, and then they've kind of morphed over time as you make decisions and use powers. Like in the first Fable, you start as a kid, and your character evolves and becomes either more dark and is reflected that way, or like more angelic. Like, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. They've had in Fable before where the more magic you use, your character looks differently over time as well. So yeah, Fable, I'm really curious how they're going to do it too. I miss the way Fable 2 was, yeah. Fable 2 was amazing, Rainbow. Like, you could buy all the property in town and all that kind of stuff. This is so fucking cool. What's up, RSJ? How you doing? Mandalorian Martin, how are you doing? It's a cool name, Mandalorian Martin. Stephen Avery says, will we see Contraband? There's some in the community that say so, that say we should, that say they think we're going to see it, and they say that that game's not as far along as we think. Third party wise, I'm still holding out my hope for Splinter Cell because they announced the Splinter Cell remake like 3 years ago, I think. And we haven't seen anything about it. They just announced it in a fucking blog post, right? They talked about it at a Splinter Cell anniversary like stream kind of thing they had as well, a little bit. But there's been a lot of smoke from the community that follows the studio that's working on it, that they think Splinter Cell could actually show up at the Ubisoft Forward this year. So for me, even that's just enough. I'm super happy. But they could show it there and then show it at the Xbox showcase, which would be amazing. Jez says Fable might get pushed to 26. Possibly, if they have so much stuff, they could. If they want to make it like a launch title for the next console, or if they want to put it out earlier in the year that year, who knows, man? Like, there's some smoke that the next Xbox console will be in 2026. So, you had high hopes for Fable 3, but Lionhead really fumbled that one. That one, like, if you go and play it back, it feels and plays better than your memories. I guarantee you. I think it's underrated. I think it's underappreciated from the Fable community. But they took some things you could do away from Fable 2, and they made the Fable 3. It's all about being the king and all that kind of stuff, and like it just kind of was different. But like if you go back and play it, it's like, oh, okay, it plays actually better than the other ones in some ways. Fable 2 was the best. It was like the epitome of the franchise for me. Yeah, Black Knight. Sometimes this happens with games. Like, there's so much negativity or talk about certain aspects of games, and it clouds your judgment and feelings of it when you're playing it. And then you go back outside of that experience when everybody's talking, and you just kind of play and be like, oh, this is fucking dope. Right? Yo, Lotus is free. Vroom, vroom, motherfuckers. Gifted 5 Fun Speculation memberships, dude. Appreciate you, Lotus, always there, being amazing in the chat and showing support. Hope you enjoy the show and content, because I super appreciate you being here. Triz, Colt and Mag said the same thing about what? Hip Hop Gamer says Halo going to PlayStation 2026. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, guys, and I don't know what it means. Like, which Halo, right? Like Halo Infinite? At that point, it's a 6-year-old games of service game, or 5-year-old games of service game, right? And we'll be looking forward to a new Halo. So is it going to be the new Halo? Or is it Halo Infinite? Or Master Chief? Is it Master Chief Collection? I don't know. Will I personally care? Absolutely not. I will say, hey, we'll play Halo, guys. Have fucking fun with it. I'm going to be playing too. Where's Pong Soul when you need him? Yeah, absolutely, right? 343 has already said they're working on the next Halo thing, right? Certain Affinity is supposedly working on something Halo. I don't know what the next Halo thing is going to be. It could be anything. We could see some spin-offs. I hope so. Halo's one of the most underutilized franchises that has more potential than they ever realized, I think, because they were trying to be so careful with it that they didn't allow or push forward all these other ideas and allow the studios to be creative doing different things with it. And I think it's a mistake. There's so much potential there within Xbox Studios to do different things with Halo. That's what I want. I want to see some different shit. But Halo 7, yeah, that would be amazing too. A Halo Master Chief Collection going to PS5 would breathe a new life to the franchise. I would welcome it, man. Honestly, I don't fucking care. Like, does that? I don't know what that says about me as an Xbox fan. I'm still gonna play it on Xbox, but does it cause other people to appreciate Xbox more? Does it? I think to a lot of people, the idea of Xbox is just a fucking box. For me, it's the games they make and the experiences they deliver. and how I access them. As long as they keep giving me good hardware or giving me good experience, I'm fucking happy. Like access to the games, good value. It makes me like I'm not concerned, right? I see a lot of people get concerned about that stuff. I'm not concerned about it. Black Knight says, I hope it doesn't go open world anymore. Way too much of nothing. Yeah, that kind of happened with Gears 5 too, right? I think Halo Infinite's way better open world than Gears 5 was. Because Gears 5 was literally like this big open empty landmass that you just went to other hubs that then you play traditional Gears. Like, hey, empty landmass, traverse to a level in Gears. It was just kind of weird that way. I didn't really like the way they did it. It was pretty. Halo Infinite at least had like a world that lived in, but what I was hoping, this is my biggest disappointment with Halo Infinite. Everything they've done to the multiplayer over time has been amazing, right? My biggest disappointment with Halo Infinite is the lack of ongoing support for the campaign, because when they originally talked about the vision, 10-year vision for Halo Infinite, I, in my head, was hoping they would continue to improve and update this world that they had built, right? And add new things to do, and they had so much potential with that. Ongoing content for the campaign, ongoing things to consistently look forward to with that experience. And the fact that they didn't deliver anything there except for, the co-op stuff and replayable missions and things like that, it was like, that's where I felt like they fell the most flat, because it had so much potential with the gameplay and the world that they built to establish that being the ground floor to be something bigger if they built upon it, and they never did that with the campaign for Halo Infinite. As good as it looks, as smooth as it is, as great as it plays, it still is the same pretty much game that it was at launch for the campaign. And with that canvas of a fucking world, that's like a playground where you have a lot of potential to do things. That's my biggest disappointment for Infinite. I thought it was an amazing campaign. I loved it. I wanted to see it continue to evolve after launch, but it didn't. And multiplayer did, though, right? And why did multiplayer? Because it's probably free to play, and they always have an opportunity to bring people in. Whereas I think they kind of gave up on the campaign a little bit when they decided to change directions, and they moved on to the new game. So we'll see what the new vision is for Halo. I do know one thing. Last year, after the showcase, and this surprised me. This really surprised me, because they're talking about the future of Xbox, and they're talking about what we didn't see at the show, and that's when they had mentioned Perfect Dark, because they were doing an interview. Matt Booty and Phil Spencer were doing an interview with Jeff Grubb and the people at Giant Bomb, right? And they made a point to mention Perfect Dark, that like we're getting to where we can finally show it. Like Daryl Gallagher feels the pressure to show it and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I've always thought it's going to be here this year at this showcase. But then right after that, they made a point to specifically mention, and we're very excited about the future of Halo. Like out of nowhere. Like I know Halo wasn't brought up. There wasn't a question about Halo. There wasn't anything about that stuff. It was just like, they made a point just out of the blue to mention that when everybody is kind of like down on Halo at the time, right? And I was thinking, what is that? They must have like decided to greenlight or really get invested into some big project with Halo that they feel greatly excited about. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited to find out what it is eventually. Halo's one of my favorite franchises in gaming, period. And they've been kind of squandering it a little bit here and there, but Halo Infinite's fantastic. So yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting to see. Flush Jackson, welcome to the speculators. Choo choo, motherfucker. Thanks, Flush, for joining the speculation train here. What do you guys want to see at a state of play? I mean, who here owns a PlayStation? I own a PS5. Right now it's in the living room. I took it out of the other room, but I just talked to my wife. I think I'm going to put it here on this TV. And I think I'm going to hook it up here so that way I'm kind of like forcing myself to play it a little bit more because it's just more around me. I'm hoping it'll mind fuck me into playing it more. So I'll put it there. Lotus says Astro Bot. Everybody's wanting Astro Bot. So do we think we're getting an Astro Bot this year? You sold 2? Does that count? I sold 1. And then I rebought it. Would love to see the gameplay for Assassin's Creed Shadows. You think there could be some big third-party stuff like that? If they had the marketing rights for Assassin's Creed? What's up, Buzz? How's it going, dude? Astro Bot 2 for VR? Oh, what if it's the Astro Bot, but it's only a VR experience? That's because I see a lot of people excited for Astro Bot game. What if it's like an Astro Bot only a VR thing? Or did they already announce a new Astro Bot? I fucking don't even know. That's how much I've been paying. Astro Bot. There's Astro's Playroom, right? Astro Bot Rescue Mission. Is that it? Oh, that's already a thing. No, that was like a VR. Okay, that was the VR thing. Okay, so here's a rumor from IGN 5 days ago. For all you Astrobot fans. Yeah, Ubisoft Brett is like real. Brett Bingham says that I don't know about PS5 having Assassin's Creed Shadows, Xbox had Valhalla. Ubisoft is really. It seems like everybody's fucking really cozy with Xbox lately. Like Sega is, Ubisoft is, all that stuff, right? But like I don't know. They still do deals with other platform holders. So maybe Assassin's Creed Shadows, maybe that's PlayStation marketing. I don't know. But Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaws is Xbox, right? Generally, I try and mix it up a little bit because you don't see like all Ubisoft games are marketed with Xbox or whatever. So maybe we'll see Assassin's Creed Shadows this time. You turned your PS5 on to test your Steam Deck OLED remote. I know there's a lot of PS4s out there still. So this is from IGN. This is May 24th. New Astro Bot game rumored to be announced in the next 2 weeks. So obviously it would be at the fucking State of Play, right? Sony is rumored to be gearing up to announce a new Astro Bot game for PlayStation 5 soon. The details come from Deal Labs and reliable leaker Bilbil Kuhn, which says that developer Team Asobi will apparently reveal the next entry in its cutesy robot platformer series sometime in the next 15 days. Part of the unannounced title is said to take place in a desert area with a new character described as a fennec fox in the form of a robot that shares some similarities with Astro. IGN understands the rumor to be accurate. Okay. The Deal Labs report adds that the title may simply be named Astro Bot and expects it to be released exclusively for PS5 and not PSVR 2. Asobi's next game has been rumored for some time, as in 2021 the studio published a job posting that teased its most ambitious game yet. The studio later doubled down on this, saying that its next project will be its biggest game to date. With Summer Game Fest set to kick off in the next few weeks, it's no surprise to hear that PlayStation has some announcements in the cards. PlayStation showcase of some kind has been rumored for weeks as well. Many believing that Sony will announce a summer presentation sooner rather than later. However, it's probably best to keep expectations tempered until a PlayStation event is officially revealed. Well, we finally got the reveal. It's a state of play. Astro Bot has appeared only a handful of times in the last decade and is usually used to highlight PlayStation hardware features. Astro Bot Rescue Mission, a game we gave a 9 out of 10, wowed PSVR users upon its release in 2018. Okay. Yeah, so Astro Bot, that be the new game. Will that let me ask the PlayStation guys this, because everybody seems to be so concerned with Xbox. Will Astro Bot move the needle? You know, that hypothetical needle that somehow exists with Xbox? Will it move the needle for PlayStation? Will Astro Bot move that needle? I'm just really curious on the needles and whether they move. Ultimately, I don't think any of us fucking care, and I think if you want to play Astro Bot, that's going to be awesome because it's the kind of game you're looking forward to. I want to see it. I want to see how different it is from Playroom. It give me a reason to pick it up and be excited for it, and then maybe if I am, I'll get it. Maybe my daughter will be into it too, right? Cool. It could be an awesome thing to look forward to. Astro Bot. So let's make a list, right? We're expecting Astro Bot. Expectations in check. State of play 2024. Astro Bot. Exclusive. All right, Astro Bot exclusive to PS5. Right? Announced. Coming out this year. I'll be interested. I want to see it. I want to know if this looks good. Pong will not be. Let me tell you. If you're watching the co-stream tomorrow and you see us, Pong does not like platformers. Period. So he will not be excited for Astro Bot. Not because it's a PlayStation game, because it's a platformer. Unless it's not a platformer. All right, what else are we expecting? So, well, Konami said we're going to see Silent Hill again on the 30th. So I'm expecting it to be there. Silent Hill. That's a Sony exclusive, right? Is that coming to PC? Day and date? Does anybody know? The Silent Hill remake? Or I get confused because they announced like 4 Silent Hill games at the same time, or maybe 3. So I'm not sure which one it was that they said was going to be there on the 30th. I'm assuming it's Silent Hill remake. Whatever the Bloober Team game is. Might be the one, right? What did Konami say? Just the game called Silent Hill, right? Okay. The second Silent Hill transmission will air May 30th at 4. So that's like right after the state of play. So, yeah, Silent Hill's going to be there. So Silent Hill. What else? Concord, right? And then people are saying the Horizon Zero Dawn remake. Now, that was a rumor, right? Or not remake, remaster. Sorry, or it was a remake. This is from Inverse. This isn't from February. Horizon Zero Dawn remake leak reveals the secret to Sony's strategy. Horizon Zero. Okay, so now less than a year after the release of Horizon Forbidden West, new reports suggest that Sony may be working on a remake or remaster for the first game, Horizon Zero Dawn. Similar to how The Last of Us remake incorporated the accessibility features, improved visuals, and better performance of its sequel, the Horizon remake could do the same on PS5. While early reactions are mixed, this codifies a novel approach that Sony is taking to its greatest hits, breathing new life into its most beloved titles by making them easier to access and better to play for all types of gamers. Yeah, so there are strong feelings that maybe we'll see this. Who knows? Baby Steps. Baby Steps is not first party, but it could be there. Lego Horizon. Yeah, what is the Lego Horizon game everybody keeps talking about? Lego Horizon game. Okay, Lego. This is a rumor. Okay. This is from IGN. Sony and Lego are reportedly collaborating on a new PlayStation video game called Lego Horizon Adventures. Insider Gaming reports the unannounced video game is essentially Horizon Forbidden West, but Lego, with realistic graphics. Okay. Sony has a quiet year ahead for its first-party games and has ruled out sequels in its major franchises such as Spider-Man and God of War until at least April 2025. Okay, so Lego Horizon Adventures. This is shaping up to be a show, guys. Anything else that I'm forgetting? From like Sony Studios that could be there this year. So far, we got Astro Bot, rumor. We got Silent Hill, which is a Konami, but they made a deal for that. Concord, Horizon Zero Dawn remake, Baby Steps, and Lego Horizon Adventures. You think they actually show Psycho? You think they reveal Ghost of Tsushima 2 here? If they reveal it here and it's actually coming later this year, I'll be fucking stoked. Like that'll be my moment, right? But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think if they have an August show, they save it for then. Star Wars Outlaws, Black Ops 6, Avowed, Indiana Jones, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Stalker 2 is how I'm rolling this year. Yeah, dude, that's a fucking lineup, man. It's a fucking lineup. Blade. I don't think we'll ever see Blade at a PlayStation show because that's an Arcane game, and it may be if it ever does actually come to PlayStation, you'll only see it still at the Xbox shows, and then later, like if that ever happens, you'll see it like on the YouTube channel afterwards. Here's a misconception, something I want to touch on real quick. I saw a lot of this with the cloud over the Xbox showcase, right? That they talk about their multi-platform strategy or whatever, like address it. Like, I cannot fathom anything different with how they really talk about or announce their games. Like, except for the fact that they may not use the word exclusive as much. Like Developer Direct, after they announced some of those games, they didn't say exclusive, they didn't say anything like that. They just left it, right? But they still had the Xbox logo and the Game Pass, right? That's how I expect the Xbox showcase to go. I expect the Xbox showcase to just focus on Xbox, but just not put in concrete terms if things are going to be exclusive or not. And I don't expect them to, like, I think some people are expecting to see PlayStation logos at the fucking Xbox show. That is not going to be a thing. If it is, I'm really surprised, and then we'll have a different conversation. But that would surprise the fuck out of me. But like, we're not going to hear them say play. The only way I could hear them say PlayStation is if they talk about like Call of Duty, and then like during the redacted thing, and they try and make a point during that thing that they care about all of their players, right? Because more people play Call of Duty games on PS4 than anything, right? So maybe in the redacted Call of Duty thing, they just like mentioned that for all of our players, including PlayStation, we care about some stupid shit like that or whatever, right? But like during the Xbox showcase when they're announcing all these games and all that kind of stuff, I literally could not fathom them like announcing a game and then saying like and on PlayStation, or having like a PlayStation logo or like other thing there. At the most, you could hear them say and other consoles, but like I just can't fathom it. And I think when people are expecting this for some reason, people are expecting like them to talk about their multi-platform strategy and make clear which games are going on PlayStation, like during the show. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, make the PlayStation gamers wonder if they're getting those games. The thing is, on Xbox, we know we are. We're not. We don't have a question. Make them think about it. Make them be curious. Oh, am I going to get to play that game? I'm fucking now interested in it, and it never happened before because it's a possibility. Am I going to? Well, no, not this one. Sorry, bro. Oh, fuck. Right? Oh, I wanted to get that. Like, make them think about it. Make them curious. How much conversation there is more? There's more conversation about Xbox and Game Pass than ever before because of this stuff. Because of Call of Duty, all that kind of stuff. Like, they're obviously going to just focus on Xbox and all that kind of stuff, and I think they're going to leave it open ended and not say a damn thing after. They're just going to say coming to Xbox and Game Pass, and then maybe later, PlayStation has like a YouTube video show up for like Elder Scrolls Online expansion, Fallout 76 expansion, because those games are always multi-plat. Minecraft thing, right? Call of Duty stuff, what normal stuff like you would always see. Diablo, right? Games that are Xbox games, first party, that have always been multi-plat. Even if Doom gets announced, right? For everybody that's making a huge deal about Doom, I personally never was 100% that game was going to be exclusive in the first place. I was leaning more so that it was possibly because I thought it made the most business sense for the new Doom to be exclusive at the time when we're having these conversations of speculating. The reason we were having those conversations and actually mentioning Doom a couple years ago is because we thought it was a possibility that maybe even at that time, before all of this stuff, that they could still, even then, because of legacy games and all that conversation, put Doom in other places. And now it seems like just this one game, the Doom news that got brought up the other day, is like, this is different 100% than anything they said before, but it's not with Doom, right? It would be with Halo, right? People that are the rumors about Halo 2026, all that stuff, for sure. But Doom itself would not be like the signal that everything is going multi-plat. It would be the signal that Okay, some games that we didn't know for sure what's going on with may be more likely multi-plat than otherwise, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean anything for like a Perfect Dark or a Fable, right? Gears of War 6. Those kind of games doesn't necessarily mean anything for those right now. Indiana Jones, right? We don't know any of that stuff, right? And it's interesting we haven't heard much talk about that. Beforehand, everybody was saying Starfield was going to happen with Starfield, and then that came and went. Elder Scrolls 6, I think it's a possibility, right? Been saying that for a while. I don't fucking know. We'll find out. They said originally it's going to be exclusive, kind of, but they may end up changing their mind now. I don't know, right? When they bought ABK, it's a transformational thing. But I care about my experience. And one thing, when we're watching that Xbox showcase, when we're watching it, I'll know that everything there, I'm going to get to fucking play in Game Pass day one for the most part. That's first for the first party stuff, yes. And then we'll see the big third party stuff, all that stuff. Everything there, I'll know I get to play on fucking Xbox or PC, right? My question as an Xbox consumer is answered. Do I get to play this game as an Xbox consumer? The answer would be yes. The PlayStation consumer will be left wondering. And for me, for Xbox, that makes sense. Now later, maybe they announce some of those games go to PlayStation as well. But fuck, give them a chance to think about it. Let them get excited about some of these games, even if they are exclusive. Even if they are exclusive to Xbox, let them get excited and think about they might get a chance to play that game for 2 years before it eventually is announced as exclusive. Or if it's not, if it's multi-plat, hey, let Xbox fans think it's going to be exclusive. It doesn't matter. You think there will be a gacha game called Wuthering Waves tomorrow? That's a good call because it's coming to PlayStation and it's in the Epic Game Store right now. I'll add it to the list, actually. I like that call out. Maj Claridge says Xbox is dead. Oh my god. Never have you been more wrong. Maybe what Xbox, I said this before after ABK when everybody's freaking out with the doom and gloom this year in January, starting in January and February, all this time when everybody was afraid because of those 4 multi-plats and all that stuff. Xbox isn't dead, like, whatsoever. They're actually way stronger position than they've ever been. They have more at their disposal, more games, more everything they've ever had before. Like, it's fucking crazy. But maybe what a lot of our ideas of what Xbox was is dead. They've moved and evolved into something else. That's more likely than saying Xbox is dead. It's become a much larger brand than it was before. Don Sakaria says, Mav, will the Mavericks beat the Celtics? First, we got to finish off the Timberwolves. We got to finish off the Timberwolves. And then, yes. Because I believe, and I think, overall, the Mavericks have the better squad right now. And I think it's all because of the moves they made around the trade deadline and stuff when they got Gafford. I think when we drafted Lively. Like the moves that they made, PJ Washington when they brought him and Gafford in, like that changed changed the Mavericks. Changed them big time. Like they're a completely different team. And Kyrie and Luka together are becoming the closers together that they can be. They have less pressure to have to carry everything themselves because the players around them are playing better as a team. So usually when it comes down to stuff like I think the Celtics defense is gonna be insane, but those certain kind of players like Luka and Kyrie, it doesn't matter. Like the legends, the legendary players like that, they overcome those moments. They hit crazy shots. They do insane things. They get on fire. They do crazy stuff, and playoff basketball comes down to the fourth quarter. This is a little fucking sports talk, right? In playoff basketball, it comes down to the fourth quarter. And more so, it comes down to the last like 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, usually. And I just really think that the Mavericks have the upper hand against almost every team in that scenario right now. But we'll see. Maybe the Celtics pull it out. I don't know. But I'm excited for the Mavs right now, and I'm excited for their future because they can keep this core together and not blow it up like they did after 2011. It's gonna be amazing to see. yeah, Ninja. Like it's video games, right? Like some people like take things way too seriously and like will go after people like to an extreme level, for having different opinion or something. Ultimately, whatever you want to play on, whatever kinds of games you like to play, cool, right? But just realize there's other people that also have different tastes and preferences than you do, and have their own wants for as being a gamer, and have their own things they look forward to, their own kind of things that excite them, the only kind of things that they're passionate about. And if you're accepting of that people are not all the same, then ultimately I think everybody can just be cooler with each other and embrace gaming as a hobby. Like, I fucking own PlayStation, I own a Switch, I own several Xboxes, I play on PC. I want all these platforms to do good. I want games on them that I'm excited about from all of them, because games are what matter, right? We're always back in the day like, games are what matter, games are what matters. But no, some is like fucking the box outselling another box is all that ever mattered, right? Or like outshining the other box is all that mattered. Like we're fucking like it's a trophy or something, And that shit never made sense to me. When we talk about the shit on our channel, like, it's coming from the place of passion because it's what we enjoy, what we prefer, right? That's why we can like criticize things when we don't like what they do. It's like, oh, you're fucking up what I'm excited about. Stop, Or like if they don't announce a lot of stuff that I'm excited about. That my main issue with PlayStation or last generation has been like not enough things that I'm excited about. That's just generally my number one complaint. And that's just a personal taste thing, right? And also value, like, to the consumer, like giving us better deals and ways of accessing our games, all that kind of stuff. I want them to catch up with Xbox there a little bit, because guess what? That shit's awesome, right? Cross save, cross buy, cross progress, like all that stuff is awesome. I appreciate that shit, right? And I think sometimes people take that into just like console war stuff, but it really is just like asking from the companies what you want, right? And I know a lot of people see us as like an Xbox channel because like I prefer Xbox. I talk about Xbox, I have Xbox Ultimate Podcast and all that kind of stuff. But like really, we're a gaming channel with a bunch of gamers that actually just prefer to play on Xbox. It's just as simple as that. And the first podcast I started was Xbox Ultimate because I knew I'd come across biased and preferential to Xbox because that's what I played on 99% of the time. So it's like, why try and hide that or try and be like, oh, I'm neutral, you know, or I'm more excited about Xbox shit. That's the reason I play on it more, because I like the ecosystem more, right? Doesn't mean I hate PlayStation, or that I have to hate PlayStation, or I have to hate Nintendo. No, I still play games on those things, just not as much. And I want them to want me to play more, because I want them to have the experiences I like there too, right? So, I don't know. It's weird sometimes with the community and the gaming Twitter and shit. You thought this was a Nintendo channel? Man, I have so much Nintendo slander. As disappointed as I was with PlayStation this generation, so far, my biggest disappointment since last gen has been Nintendo. Because they don't have a device that I enjoy playing on. That's just flat out the honest truth. Like, I don't enjoy playing on the Switch. I enjoyed playing on the Wii U more than the Switch. So I am actually really excited for the Switch 2, because it's going to hopefully push things like forward to where it's better for me, right? They do have the games though, but the games are ruined by the hardware for me. That's the issue. Like, the games get ruined by the hardware for me. Like, it's so sluggish and slow, and when I play on a big screen, it looks blurry. It just doesn't look right. I don't know. There's a lot of issues I have with it. It's like, I just want, like, I don't want a handheld to be forced to be a console unless it's like actually really capable of doing so. And for me, like, the handheld was not yet ready to take on the console mantle. But as a handheld, it's fucking amazing, right? Probably the best handheld ever. As a console hooked up to a TV, which is the kind of gamer I am, I don't really play too much on handheld. It was very disappointing because the games were like hampered by my experience, you know, overall, just all the time. I had some fun, had some good times with the Switch, but I'm really pumped. Like, I really wanted the Switch 2 because I want to see. Yeah, exactly, Magnum. But there was a lot of third-party stuff I was excited for. But yeah, Mario Kart, like Mario Party, Mario. If it has Mario on it, you're probably good with it technically on the Switch. Animal Crossing, stuff like that. Not necessarily Zelda though. Like, I don't know, like Zelda, I didn't think looked that great. Switch 2, I'm fucking pumped, man. Like, because it's gonna take the best parts of the Switch, but actually evolve it to something that's a little bit more powerful. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking powerful. It just has to be enough, right? It has to get to a certain point, and once you're there, I'm good. It just wasn't there yet. Princess Peach and Pokemon Performance speak otherwise. Yeah. I'm just traditionally I haven't been a handheld gamer. I'm becoming a little bit more of. I'll play the Switch for stuff like Balatro, right, and stuff like that. I'll dabble in some of the other games. I'm playing more mobile lately with my tablet. I have a big Samsung tablet, and I'll put it up in bed when we're like watching movies and stuff, and I'll console stream to my tablet, so I can play Xbox while we're watching movies. And that's like how I mobile game, if you call it that these days. But I would like to call it out for this because I think it'd be awesome. I play trombone. Trombone Champ's fun, bro. Don't give me too much shit for Trombone Champ. I think that I would like more mobile games in the future to have controller support and to also have landscape format. I'm calling for that. Please. Because I think most mobile games are meant to be played on a phone, right? Aren't really thinking tablets and all that kind of stuff. But I would really like to play like on my tablet, like for games like landscape. If this is landscape, right? Landscape mode, and I would like to have controller support. And I would buy more mobile games if that was the case. I would buy more different kinds of mobile games. But too many of them are just obviously for the mass market of, screen controls and portrait. Lotus says, I tried all 4 major handhelds, not for me. I'm considering the attachable screen for Series S. I sold Series X as I never used it. Right on. Have I tried Genshin? I have it installed. I've almost played it several times, but no. I don't really like playing games like that on a small screen too much. I should do that on a tablet. Is Genshin have controller support and stuff? I'm sure it does, right? If any of them would, it would be like Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail. I have installed Honkai Star Rail also, so maybe I'll try those. But another issue sometimes is the resolution is pretty shitty for mobile games like that on a tablet, because they're just blow up the screen for the meant for smaller screens. But my tablet's pretty fucking huge, so sometimes they don't look great either, and that ruins it for me. But have y'all tried Steam Link to a tablet? With a controller? You want to know I'm sure probably GeForce Now is like this too, which a lot of people say it's an amazing experience. But Steam Link is free. It's just like console streaming, right? You stream it from your PC. So I'll have a game that I'll have installed on Steam, like Dragon's Dogma 2 or whatever, right? And if you have a good connection in your house and you stream link to your fucking tablet with a controller, that shit looks amazing. 4K, super crystal clear quality. It's absolutely insane. I like console streaming from Xbox too, but Xbox needs to catch up with Steam Link on the quality aspect, because there's a little blurriness on console streaming with Xbox. With Steam Link, you can get fucking crystal clear, man. It's native. It almost looks native at times. It's pretty insane. So yeah, that's a shout out to Steam Link. If you have great connection that it establishes well and stuff, it'll tell you fair, good, excellent, or whatever, and what you're capable of. But if you have it and you do the test and it establishes great connection, dude, Steam Link is no joke. And this is up. My office is way upstairs, way far away from the bedroom. I don't even know if that matters technically or whatever. But yeah, it's super smooth. And that's on Wi-Fi on my tablet. Delroy says it's great on the Steam Deck. Battery life is crazy when you're streaming from your main PC. Yeah. Well, shit, guys. Colt said even he heard Forza Horizon 6 wasn't even happening. I don't think there's there's been a lot of talk about Forza Horizon 6. Forza Horizon 5 is doing so well right now. They're just going to keep, I think, evolving that for a while. Forza Motorsport, I think they need to keep evolving that. And I think we won't see another Forza Horizon till sometime early next generation. They don't necessarily really need to. Playground Games, I think, probably, even though they're a multiple studio team, probably has more people working on Fable right now. And maybe they're working with Turn 10 and stuff, pushing the technology for the next Forza Horizon forward even more. Who knows when we'll see the next Forza Horizon, but the last one was such a success. It's sometimes what happens. And I think it's okay to sit on it for a little while. But I don't think they're not going to not have it. I don't think they're not going to ever make another Forza Horizon game because it's too successful. They'd just be throwing money away like crazy because the game did massive numbers. But there is another team that they're called Maverick. And it's from some former Playground devs that are making a new racing game, and Amazon just picked up the publishing for it. So they're making a new AAA racing game with a narrative, supposedly made by former Playground devs, called Maverick Studios, I think, and published by Amazon. Keep our eyes open around Amazon. They're doing Tomb Raider, They have this team. They're going to do a racing game, all that shit. Brett Bingham says, I think Colt and Mag are spreading some FUD around intentionally. I think they're just trolling some people. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I like those guys, so I don't want to say too much. But, I think that sometimes we overreact sometimes to what people say or on some of these shows, even though they're connected or they may know things and stuff. Sometimes things are from a source that may not have the whole story or whole picture, or a rumor gets twisted and turned around, or who knows what the whole fucking picture is. And I think sometimes we read too much into what some people say ultimately. And things tend to snowball, go out of control, and create all this negativity and drama and stuff that's not necessarily needed. Or even necessarily even intended to from them and originally. Oh, but ultimately, I think we're going to have a new Forza Horizon at some point, and I think we're going to have updates to both games continuing for a little while. At least Forza Motorsport is going to be a lot of updates going forward. So that's why everybody keeps talking about Forza Horizon right now, like seeing it at the summer show. I want them to announce a like big update for Forza Motorsport. That's what I would be more looking forward to. Yeah, it's easy to say something because you can always backtrack with plans change. Yeah, you see that sometimes, but ultimately, there's a lot of speculation out there. Try not to pass off anything as ever we actually know what's going on. That's what the point of the term speculation is. Like, we stand behind that, like, here, that we don't know fucking everything. We don't know, like, jack shit. I don't even try and get inside sources or anything like that. I like to speculate on the stuff and use kind of common sense and or fun things that could be interesting, or trying to use common sense to put together the pieces of what's going on. And oftentimes, if you go back and watch it, a lot of, especially Pong, Soul, and I's conversations on a lot of our shows from even a couple of years ago, like, things kind of turn out how you would predict they would if you just use rational thinking and common sense. So anyway, it's not great. It's not rocket science to kind of dictate where technology is going or the motivations of the companies and all that kind of stuff. And if you put everything together, like you put your like Xbox flag on the back burner and don't worry about console sales and all that kind of stuff and voting for the winning team and all this kind of shit. You just think about like yourself and what you see. I think it's easier to kind of predict this shit. I never expected to see Forza Horizon. I expected them to take a long time in the next Forza Horizon, like they did with Forza Motorsport. But we'll see. Who knows? For Forza Motorsport, I want a track content roadmap for the next year. Drag, drift, and drive guitars in private lobbies. Yeah, I want more showcase experiences for the cars, more ways of showing off your cars and kind of tinkering around with your cars and stuff. Like, that's missing for me with Forza. Like, the track experience is fucking flawless to me. But when you're outside of the actual races, owning a car, what else can you do? Right? And there used to be a lot of things with Forza, but with this one, it's so focused on just the motorsport aspect, which I know that's what they're going for, that like the rest of the game kind of fell by the wayside. So I want that kind of overhaul on the rest of the experience for me. It used to be something like Dan Greenwald with Turn 10 would always say, car lovers, is like, they were trying to bring in all these different communities. There was like the artists, the video creators, the car enthusiasts, like the car show type people, right? There's people that were like into car shows, people into racing, there's people into street racing, there's people into all different kinds of shit, right? They wanted to bring, and then there's just gamers. They wanted to bring up this whole all these people together to have one game that was kind of like for the cars and really stood for what they were about. And Forza, the motorsport traditionally was always about that. Now, this new direction for Forza, like as they did some things I really like, but like with motorsport, they just went a little too far down the deep end of just motorsport without thinking about the culture aspect of everything else. And that's what I really want to see more of, is the car culture infused more into Forza Motorsport. Vic, the motherfucking click with the $2 super chat, says, "What's up, you bot?" Oh, what's up, dude? What's up, Vic? How you doing, bro? Appreciate the support, man. Hope you're out there having a blast tonight. It's Wednesday night, so I don't know if it's a party night for you. But all right, guys. Oh, okay, another question. Stephen Avery. Mav, do you think Playground Games could make a game like GTA or something like Fast and Furious movies? Oh, this day and age. Like, I mean, what they've showed from Fable looks fucking incredible, but like at GTA is like another level, bro. Another fucking level. And whenever you make a game like GTA, you're just going to be compared to GTA now. So you got to go all in on that shit. All in on it, and you got to do it for like a really fucking long time. So I don't think I think the Xbox could put together a team of creating something like quality like that, but it would take too much for them to risk. And I don't think they would want to mess with it. Let's see. RSJ fan says, "Are you hyped for the Xbox showcase?" Fuck yes, I'm hyped for the Xbox showcase. Absolutely. And I hope everybody, there is no cloud here, right? Again, hear so many different times that there's a cloud over the Xbox showcase because of the multi-platform ambitions of Xbox, and the future of Xbox is in question because of this direction. How is anybody going to care? Because these games might go to PlayStation, or there's going to be a question over every game that's announced. Like, there's no question for me. I know I will be able to play those games on an Xbox or PC. And I know that the first party games are going to Game Pass. And the games that are going to be shown, I am going to be excited about the ones that I get excited about. And I will see games that I maybe not as excited about, right? But like the ones I'm excited about, I know I will have access to play those games. So there is no question for me on where the games are going. The games are going to a place where I'm going to play them. And that's all I really fucking care about. Right? Like, so like, I'm not going to see like, they're not going to like show me a trailer for like one of the coolest shits I've ever seen. Right? Let's say, okay, Gears Collection. What if they do Gears Collection in Unreal Engine 5, have the Mad World trailer, and have all of that stuff, and give us that moment that we've all been waiting for and all that stuff, right? What if they do that, okay? And they have, it just looks fucking incredible and amazing, and they'd announced that there's this whole huge multiplayer component that blends all the maps from the original Gears games, and they're really bringing it forward, and they're going to have this massive multiplayer thing, and they talk about all of this, you know, and they show it, and it just blows our fucking minds, and I'm super excited, right? And I know I can play it on Game Pass, and I know I can play it on Xbox and PC, right? When that happens, my mind will not go to, but it's going to suck if PlayStation guys get to play it. What's the point? Why does this exist if it's not just for me? My mind won't go there. For some people, it might. But for me, I'm going to be looking at that game and I will say, holy shit, I can't fucking wait to play it. And I know I can. And that's what matters. So there's no cloud for me. There's no question. For many, there are. And just got to think about what matters to you, I guess, right? Let's see. I know there's like one more question. Seems like a late one for the Americans. What's up, Wilbo? How you doing? Where is Xbox Podcast Simulator? Man, I think what happened is they realized it was too easy to start an Xbox podcast because there was like 50 million people that did, and then all the PlayStation podcasts were also just actually Xbox shit talking podcasts. So they realized that the game already exists in the metaverse on YouTube and on Twitch and everywhere. It already exists, and we've already been playing it. Because the Xbox Podcast Simulator players are the people that actually don't give a shit about Xbox or play the games, that constantly talk about it. So they realized that game already existed, and it's already an MMO because it's massively played by millions of people and listened to, right? That this is already something that it's not worth investing into actually developing because it already exists. From all of the people playing, pretending, fake ass fuckers out there, you know, they're already playing the game. That's what it is. Anyway, you guys rock. This was I don't know how long we went live. Like 2 hours, almost 3 fucking hours. What happened? Oh my God. All right. I got to get out of here, guys. Hope you all have a great night. Tomorrow, 5:45-ish Eastern time, Pongsol and I go live, then co-stream State of Play, PlayStation. We'll see what's coming this year. Will they have anything? Astro Bot, Silent Hill, Concord, Horizon Zero Dawn Remake, Baby Steps, Lego Horizon Adventures, and possibly even Wuthering Waves. Will that do it for you? PSVR 2 games? We'll see. We'll be co-streaming that, and then we'll have PM in the PM, all in one stream tomorrow. See you guys there. Hope you all have a great night. Peace out. Later.